Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Lore and Gore podcast, episode 1. My name's Cameron, and I'm joined by...
I'm Jake, and we're excited to get into this.
Yeah, so basically, we're two friends that met in college, and one way we kind of became really good friends was taking a ridiculous amount of edibles and watching horror movies.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's been a great time. It was a really fun way to, I've always been into horror movies since I was a little kid.
I've always been into horror movies too, but honestly, being trapped in a dorm in a small room where you really don't know anybody and taking an absurd amount of weed edibles and having them kick in while the movie climaxes, I think will just change your opinion on horror movies.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was definitely into you watch The Conjuring when you're little, and you go see a PG-13 horror movie when you're in 6th grade, so you can hold a girl's hand and shit, and those are good times, whatever. But then we definitely got deeper and deeper into the genre over the past few years.
Oh yeah,
and there's just a lot of fun movies to explore and talk about, and I love horror because it's a super fun thing to watch with your friends, you know?
Yeah.
Horror movies are the one thing where everybody's on the edge of their seat, locked in, and it's an exciting, fun experience, to watch with people.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it. And I feel like one of the biggest reasons we wanted to do this podcast is to turn people on to those good movies that, when you're sitting around with your friends and everyone's like, damn, what should we watch? I want to watch, a good, scary movie or something exciting. You can come to this podcast, scroll through the episodes, and be like, if these guys say to watch it, we gotta fucking watch it.
We'll give you good ones.
We're gonna put you guys on.
Yeah.
And basically, the number one horror movie we would probably recommend to most people if you're trying to get really fucking scared and have a good ass time is the movie we're looking at today.
The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yeah. This is a 2014 found footage movie. Found footage. I don't know how much we need to fucking explain to people. But found footage, it's the type of movie where the people in the movie are holding the camera and making a movie, sometimes making
it's
a movie.
It's a mockumentary.
Yeah, this is a mockumentary style movie where it's pretending to be a documentary. It's a film student crew making a documentary about Alzheimer's.
Yep.
The disease Alzheimer's, where when it usually happens to old people and you kind of slowly start to forget your memories and stuff. It's a very debilitating, serious disease.
Yep.
And so this movie starts off as a normal documentary about this woman, Deborah Logan, who has Alzheimer's, and this student film crew is coming to make a documentary about her and kind of document her decline, I guess, which is really fucking depressing.
Very depressing.
I think one of the reasons this movie is so scary is it touches on very real, depressing topics.
For sure.
And just goes very deep with them, and it really hits those themes super well.
It really builds well. It starts out with, the message of Alzheimer's and everything, and it just never stops from there.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons this movie's so amazing, which we'll probably say throughout, is the gradual build of
never slows
depressing, but you're into the characters. The characters are great. And then you progress through the whole movie, and by the end, you're like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of a spoiler-free section where we're just kind of giving some general thoughts about the movie.
The first time we watched it, too, in the dorm, I had to turn it off at the end. It's the only horror movie I've ever had to, I can't handle this right now.
This was definitely one of the first ones we watched together, too.
Yeah, it was.
Because I watched it with my friend at home.
This one was the one that I feel got me back. Because I couldn't believe that after watching that entire movie and seeing that ending climax, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. I watched this movie over Christmas break with my friend Christian.
Yeah.
And I was scared out of my fucking mind. And I was like, you have to watch this.
Yeah. And then we watched it, and one of the most heart-racing experiences I've had watching a movie in a while.
So, spoiler-free, general setup, kind of about Alzheimer's, and then it's one of those movies the plot gets deeper, but I don't really want to explain any of that. You should go into it somewhat blind, not really knowing anything
Go into
more
it
than
blind.
that.
Go into it knowing that documentary about Alzheimer's, mockumentary, student-led crew, they're all trying to, just figure out what's going on and how Alzheimer's works with old people and sharing information about, how it affects families and stuff like that, especially in rural towns.
It's honest, great cast, super exciting, fun movie to just like put on with people. If you're a horror fan whatsoever, totally a must watch.
Totally.
It's kind of crazy how much this film went under the radar. I remember
Right.
I didn't look this up for the podcast. I didn't look this up for the podcast, but I do remember seeing on the internet and shit that this movie like flopped when it came out.
That's crazy to me.
It's so weird.
It's honestly,
Because there's a lot of bad found footage horror movies.
it's not a Hollywood movie for sure.
Yeah.
Like I could see how it could not do well in theaters, but like as like a horror movie person, like, if you watch so many horror movies, you start seeing certain formulas and what works and what doesn't. And like, this is definitely one of those ones that the best thing about it is it never stops building, but you have to figure out the lore for sure.
Yeah, I do think this movie came out in 2014, and I think that was where the found footage thing started to see a slight decline. I mean, at that point, it was way more like Conjuring, ghost kind of movies. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure As Above, So Below came out that year.
It did, and people loved that one.
Fucking M. Night Shyamalan, The Visit came out 2015.
Yeah.
So found footage was still a very popular thing. It's just weird this movie didn't get the praise I think it deserves.
Right? It's
Because I think out of those two movies I just said, would you say this is scarier than Paranormal Activity?
Taking of Deborah Logan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably go to agree with that. I mean, I think Paranormal Activity did found footage. I mean, this movie probably wouldn't have been made without Paranormal Activity, so maybe that's like hard to like judge it like that. But I think this movie easily stands up in the found footage genre as
one of the best.
One of the best. Like, definitely top 5.
I completely agree. I think with normal people, they hear catacombs or they hear like family in a house getting haunted by ghosts. Like those are so much like classic horror
simpler
movie,
concepts,
simpler topics. Where like if you hear lady with Alzheimer's and it's a horror movie.
Oh, mockumentary about a woman with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, you're like, what? Like, but if you get hooked and you start sympathizing with it, then you're in for a ride.
Yeah, I do think on the internet and everything, the population has definitely come back around and likes this movie. Yeah. But I do think we are going to be some of the only people on the internet giving it as much praise as I think it deserves.
I think it deserves the exact same amount of praise.
Yeah,
honestly.
So if you haven't seen this movie yet, pause this podcast and go watch it.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna start getting into a
little run through.
Yeah, kind of not super scene by scene, but kind of just break down each thing that happens in the movie and kind of talk about the progression and all that stuff. So getting into it. So basically, first off, we get our I guess are they in college because they're students.
I picked them up as students.
They're students. It's just like I guess like the guy with the beard looks like older,
right?
Mia, the main film director girl,
is
definitely looks younger.
Student.
She looks more like a student. The other dude, the other guy who I don't even know his name. That guy basically just becomes cameraman.
Yeah, literally. Like he's just. I mean, I guess
he is a cameraman.
Yeah,
but like he doesn't have much personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, we meet those characters, and they just basically pull up right to the house where Deborah Logan lives, and we meet the mom, and like right off the bat, you can tell the reason they're doing this is that the mom needs money.
Yep. Sarah, the mom's Sarah.
Yeah, the mom's name is Sarah. I'm gonna try to.
Well, actually, she's not a mom. She doesn't have a kid.
True.
Daughter.
It's hard because it's daughter, but she like is a woman.
So basically, the Alzheimer's patient's name is Deborah.
Deborah Logan. Sarah Logan is the daughter.
Sarah Logan's the daughter.
And Sarah's watching over Deborah because she got diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Yep. Deborah has a neighbor named Harris who's kind of helped Sarah look out for her a little bit, and he's been her friend for a long time.
You can tell right off the bat, they're like very good friends.
They're very good friends. It's like a small town, small area. You don't know a lot of people. Like, your neighbor's like your family.
And so the first few scenes, you can basically tell like they are doing this because they need money.
For the money.
Hospital bills are expensive. Sarah is probably getting spread pretty thin with bills and all that shit.
It's definitely hard for her to work too because she's constantly taking care of her mother.
Exactly. And I think that is a thing that like this movie does so well is it shows how much like having to take care of people with illnesses just takes a toll on people.
Such a toll.
Financially, mentally, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. And you can even tell too, like Deborah is pretty hesitant about everything, pretty quick. Like right off the bat, she's like, "Oh, well, I don't want to be exploited, or I don't want to be, like I don't know and everything."
Yeah,
and,
like she definitely doesn't want to do it. And it's like, honestly, like why would you want a bunch of people to just like make a movie about you dying? Like,
right? Yeah, like
especially dying in a way where like your mind just becomes so like nothing.
Yeah,
it's not even like you're like by the time you die, you're just like a husk of like a body.
Yeah,
which is like also why it's such a good movie to make a horror movie. To make a movie. Such a good thing to make a horror movie about. Yeah, because it's like such a scary, debilitating.
And they do a pretty good job making it like believable too. Like
definitely.
the money aspect of it is kind of like what makes sense on why they're doing it.
For sure, I think that's another reason. I mean, like one of the biggest things with found footage movies is like. You need to establish why is this being filmed and is that believable?
Right.
And this movie does a great job. I think that's why I really love the mockumentary style.
I agree.
Like with found footage shit. I think that's why like Blair Witch is so good because that's like similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the beginning it's pretty clear like they just need money. Deborah doesn't want to do it. She has second thoughts and then you get like a little shot like through a window of Sarah talking to Deborah being like, we need the money, Mom. Like, we need to do this. Like, they're going to be like, they're going to help us. Like, it's not going to be bad, whatever.
Right. Then you kind of get a little history on Sarah and her relationship with her mom and stuff. Sarah's definitely went under a lot of stress. Her mom probably, her mom obviously loves her, but she's definitely giving her a lot of shit throughout her whole life.
Yeah. So we get a little bit more backstory of who Deborah was. She was, I don't know if we missed it, but I don't think they talk about her husband or anything like that.
Not very much.
Maybe she wasn't even married. Maybe she just got pregnant. And
they pretty much, the only thing they really say is that the husband died when Sarah was 2.
Oh, they said that?
Yeah,
I missed that. Yeah. So, like, they really don't talk about Deborah's husband, Sarah's dad at all.
They just talk about how like Deborah was what's the machine called again?
Fuck. A switchboard operator?
Switchboard operator, old telephone.
Which I guess she did that in like the 40s, 50s.
Something around there, right?
Yeah. So she's a switchboard operator, which is basically like connecting telephone lines.
Yes.
Like connecting like calls. Before you could just like do that.
It's like pre-operator type job.
Yeah, it's like when phones were old as fuck.
Yeah.
And I guess you needed people to like connect people's like calls together and shit. Yeah. And so that was her job. She was a single mother, and they kind of just go into like how she worked really hard to like raise Sarah all by herself, and like was a well-known like member of the community because like she loved her job and like did it really well.
Yep. And then it kind of goes into some Sarah's lore. Lore.
Yeah. I think, we don't get it right away, but you definitely start to see, like, I mean, I feel like
do we get gore before lore?
I don't think there's gore right now.
Because
there's no
gore. The first gore
there's
scene.
no gore, but there is some horror where, in the beginning, it's like, the guy's filming Deborah and she's gardening, and then he like turns the camera and then he turns it back and she's like right in front of him.
Yeah, I do.
So that's a little spookiness of like
a little tease.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of tell that Sarah, maybe most people could tell she's lesbian.
Yeah. Get on my phone.
And then we basically get into talking about they're like the people making the movie like take Sarah's blood pressure.
Yeah,
and
the stress.
It basically just gets more into how much stress Sarah has to deal with, and I think that's like another way this like concept just makes the movie so good. Yeah, is like it's just such a great concept to like talk about.
It's real.
It's just real.
It happens.
It's like obviously this movie gets a lot crazier and a lot more like horror, like demon scary shit.
Yeah,
but like at this point, it's just such a believable amount of like this fucking sucks to deal with, regardless of a demon possession.
And the setup's quick too. I do like that. Like,
yeah, especially when we watched it, and we were pausing it and being like, "Oh wow!" Like first 10 minutes, like you get fucking everything you need to know.
Yeah, everything you need to know. It's believable, happens, and like right after that, you know.
Yeah, right after that, first gore 14 minutes in.
14 minutes in. Yeah.
And is that when she tears her neck?
Yep.
That's crazy. It gets into it that fast.
I know.
She's like staring out the window or whatever. And
well, first she starts attacking one of the cameramans, accusing him of taking her spade, her gardening tool.
Oh, yeah.
And like the dude's like freaking out. He's like, "What the hell?" Like, I mean, imagine being in that situation. Like, how do you deal with that? This woman's crazy. She's like out of it. She's like, "Give me my spade."
Yeah.
Shit. This dude's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
He like gets up on the counter. She collapses. She's on the floor. She's freaking out. Sarah's trying to calm her down. And then like all of a sudden the scene just like pans over. She's stood up and she's looking out the window. There's no music or anything. People are creeping up to her. She's like, Sarah or Deborah. And then you just get this shot of Deborah turning around and just ripping out her throat.
Yeah, just like ripping skin off of her neck.
Skin out of her throat, screaming. It's like 14 minutes in, you just got this whole bit of Alzheimer's.
Moment.
Such a shocking moment. Like, first time I watched that, I was like, what?
It's fucked.
Right?
And second watch through, you realize like the reason she's freaking out about the spade is because that's what she uses to kill Desjardins.
Yeah. No, it's we'll get into that later, but like
we'll describe that part.
The kill weapon.
Yeah.
Like,
so it makes sense that she's like freaking out about that, I guess, but like
that's actually a good
when
thing.
you watch the first way through, it's just like old lady just like obsessed with some random shit, whatever,
she's like out of
just kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not even her like being haunted. It is kind of just like it kind of just starts to hammer home like Alzheimer's just being like kind of starts making them like unpredictable. I mean, I don't necessarily know how realistic. Like, I don't know if Alzheimer's people just like fucking rip their skin off type shit.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe that's a stretch, but it is still like I think it still just shows you like this sucks and like the disease is getting worse.
I think you said it best when you said unpredictable.
Yeah,
that's it. Right
and it's like she can't be left alone.
Yeah,
you know.
No, she can't be left alone because you don't know if she's gonna hurt.
Like
herself.
If no one was there and she did that, she'd probably just fucking die.
Like, on the spot. Like they had to take her to the hospital immediately.
Yeah, and so then like they take her to the hospital and the doctors are like, there must just be some sort of like rapid progression of this disease right now. And the daughter says like, Sarah says like, well, you said it would take like 2 or 3 more years. Like what's going on? So right off the bat, you start to be like, all right, like why is this like happening this way? Like that sucks.
Right.
You actually caught like they drive her home from the hospital. It's day 15.
Yeah.
So
day
first like 15,
already.
20 minutes of the movie, they've been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then we get that interview of Harris, the neighbor, talking about like I think they brought up like putting her in an old folks home.
Yeah,
and that's more good like Alzheimer's shit.
No, that is great because such a realistic thing that happens, and Harris being like a neighbor who she's been friends with and talked to for years, like he's like, who wants to be put in an old folks home? Who wants to die there? That's not living. You shouldn't spend your
He literally
last
says
days
that's
like
where
that.
you go to die. This is a place to live.
Exactly.
Which is like a really good quote. More just like good commentary on like kind of end of life stages for people where it's like it's just such a grim reality that like most people are pretty much everyone's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like once you get older, and that's kind of why this. I mean, I feel like I keep saying like that's why this concept is just so smart.
They just do it well. They do it so real.
They really do.
They pick so much things that like actually happen to people with Alzheimer's and people that have to like take care of a family member with Alzheimer's.
Yeah. So right here, I think right there we get a little bit more. I think Sarah is like talks to Deborah or like goes up to Deborah, and I think Deborah says like, "Oh, like why aren't you wearing a blouse? Like why are you wearing a why are you wearing a button-up shirt?" Something like that, and it's basically just more. That basically starts more setup of being like, Deborah not really approving of her being lesbian or just kind of being problematic with it.
Yeah, we do got to get into that too. Because there's a great scene, probably one of the best acting scenes of the movie. Sarah sitting on a bench having some drinks with all the camera crew and stuff, and she kind of just goes into a couple little backstories she had growing up, you know, about like flirting with a little girl and like like kissing
they like
another
hug
girl.
and kiss or
they
something.
hug and kiss when she was 12, and she's like, you know, I didn't even know what I was doing or whatever, like at the time or anything like that.
They're all hanging out drinking on the porch like at night. Deborah's not there,
but you can just tell like she's so like into it, and she makes it so real and believable.
That's a great found footage moment where it's like these are just people hanging out, you know, it's not some like ridiculous monologue or something like that.
And you can tell she's so like emotional and almost upset about the situation, most likely because of the way Deborah has probably handled that throughout her whole life. Probably not approving, picking on her a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like that's just such great commentary too on like you know, your parents raise you and like they get you through life, but like they're not perfect and they definitely like leave you with some trauma. And even though when they fuck you up and leave you with some trauma, like you still need to or have to be there for them in their ending stages of life. Yeah. Because it's just kind of like this human thing where it's like you feel like you just have to.
They're your blood.
Like, I don't know how, like, even though she had to go through that shit. And it's also like, it's never anything where it's like, it's not like Deborah abused her or anything like that.
No.
Like, it's not like she's like this crazy homophobic person.
Yeah.
But she's probably just like a traditional woman that like doesn't know how to handle like having a gay daughter and all that shit. Yeah. And that obviously causes a lot of tension and just like fucked up shit for Sarah to deal with.
Yeah. A lot of it's definitely used for a lot of sympathy for Sarah. I mean, Sarah's the one going through it.
Sarah really is the character that gets, I mean, Deborah definitely has to go through some shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the movie wants you to sympathize with both of them. It definitely wants you to sympathize for Sarah, though.
Definitely. You kind of feel like you're Sarah when you watch the movie.
Yeah, exactly. You know? She's the relatable character.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, not for us, but
yeah, not for me. But yeah, and then like that one guy says like to our fucked up childhoods, and they like they fucking like cheers. Yeah. Yeah, and right there, it's just, I mean, like, this movie just has great characters.
It
like,
does.
They're believable.
And they're used in the perfect amount that they should be used.
Definitely.
Like, you know, like, sometimes you can get too involved with the crew and they're, like, there too much and everything. But, like, this movie, which also makes it more believable, is, like, the crew is, like, they're in it, but they're, like, barely in it. They're in it the perfect amount. And, like, the whole mockumentary is focused on Sarah and Deborah.
Yeah.
The way that if it was real, it would actually be.
Yeah, and you can tell Mia is like the most involved. Like you can tell Mia and Sarah like start to become friends, and like Mia's obviously doing this because she's like a driven filmmaker trying to like make a film, but like she's doing it because she does like care to a certain extent and she's invested in it and she's helping. And then the other two guys are kind of just like there doing their camera work shit.
Yeah.
And they definitely just feel like that. Like,
yeah, because it's almost like you're watching an actual documentary, but you're also getting the background footage,
the behind the
scenes in the documentary.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that a lot.
So right here, I think we get the first like kind of ominous, kind of haunting, supernatural kind of scene.
Yeah.
So
this is the first suspense scene, right? When she's holding the hammer, right?
I think it's when she's holding the hammer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. She has the hammer.
Camera guy walks up, and Deborah is just ominously standing, looking out the window, and her arm looks super long, but it's literally because she's holding.
It looks like she has a long ass arm in the dark.
She has, like, a freaky long ass arm or whatever, and like the guy's like slowly pacing up to her, and you don't really know what's gonna happen at all. And then you get the first jump scare of the movie, and it's literally just Sarah like being like, "Mom, are you good? Like are you good? Are you gonna get back in bed? Like it's time to get back in bed." And then Grandma Demon Lady literally just starts hammering the window.
Yeah, she starts hammering the window shut, which I guess that's sort of symbolism of her trying to keep Desjardins out of her. You know?
Wow, I actually like that.
I'm pretty sure that's like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because like she's still there, but she's not there. And Desjardins is buried outside.
Yeah, and that's also why like later the paintings make sense.
Yeah, the black figure.
Because it
in the
would make
painting
sense
is
why
supposed
he
to
would
be-
like be there too.
It's the black figure in the painting supposed to be Dehardine.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, right there we get some weird shit happening. And then this is where they do an interview with Deborah, like for the documentary.
Yeah,
like,
we
sit her
forgot
down
to
and
talk
mic
about her
up.
going outside and stabbing the ground where Dehardine's buried.
Oh yeah, she does that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah. And so then they put Deborah like in front of like a documentary setup and like get her dressed up or whatever, and they show her the video of her doing it.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy.
We were talking about it like when we were taking notes and shit. It was like it's just such a weird thing to do because it's just like so embarrassing to do that
No,
to
it
someone.
is.
I guess like
it is. I weirdly I like it. I like it because like if I was watching a horror movie, I would like want them to explain to Deborah that like that had happened.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? But it's almost like the way the characters go about it if it was in a real setting, like showing an old lady with Alzheimer's stuff that she just did that's like psycho.
Yeah.
And then also having her react to it while they film her for the
yeah,
documentary.
it's just kind of
Like,
fucked up, just being like, look how fucking crazy you are. Like,
like they're like, yeah, not only are you psycho, but let's get your reaction
yeah.
for the movie.
Yeah, like that's just it's just so embarrassing, honestly, and it like kind of it almost just feels like they're like embarrassing a child for doing something like they didn't know they're supposed to be doing or something like
And
that,
then
where it's like
making it into a full movie.
Yeah.
Like, and letting her know
that is one scene where it does start to feel like exploitative to her, you know?
No, it is, yeah. And she's worried about that at the beginning too. And
Yeah.
They honestly do.
Yeah.
They honestly do.
I
think something happened right before that is important. I mean, obviously, this is the spoiler review, so you already know, but it's the first time that something supernatural happens. When she levitates on the counter and they don't
that
stop
happens
the
too.
clock. That's
Yeah.
like the first tease you get.
Yeah, she just walks up to the counter, and then the next frame, she's just on top of the counter.
Which I liked that my first
Yeah.
watch through because
Yeah.
like I was like I don't know the vibes of this movie. Is it gonna be like some like self-harm movie because I just watched her rip out her throat?
Yeah,
and
is it
shit?
gonna be her just completely being
completely
crazy?
going insane? Is she gonna like kill
Slasher
everyone or
kinda
some
thing,
shit?
yeah.
But then they throw that in there and you're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like
And Mia is automatically just kind of trying to be like, oh, it's just a glitch. Like,
she just wants it to continue.
yeah, like she's just trying to keep everyone on board because she wants to get this movie made and like she wants to get the movie made.
Also, shout out to Beard Dude with glasses. Being
Yeah.
probably honestly more relatable than Sarah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to that point when we get to it for
we'll
sure.
get to it when we
but
get
that's
to it.
another reson this movie's so believable.
But yeah, he pretty much just like pulls up that footage and just like looks at everyone and is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because he's not even necessarily trying to say like, oh, something is haunted, but he just pulls it up and he's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like he is really funny in
Yeah,
this.
he's so funny.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know, they bring her to the hospital at some point. I don't know if they rush her there or if she just has to get a checkup, but they do like the spinal tap thing.
Yeah, that's right. After
That's some really good body hospital gore of
surgery
just like,
gore.
Yeah. Fucking putting a needle into her spine like that.
It's gross.
Hope that I never have to
It's
fucking
painful.
do that.
It looks horrible.
yeah.
Oh, and they take off her little patient thing she's wearing or whatever, shirt or whatever, and her whole back's like
oh, she starts getting like
covered.
rashes.
Like it looks
or scaly.
It looks
Scaly.
scaly
Because it's like we kind of know like she turns.
reptile.
She gets
snake.
like yeah.
That
And
scene was
and then
gross.
we get the scene where she's with the doctor and they're trying to do like she's just like it's like a child's toy thing where you put like the square box in the square hole and the circle in the circle hole.
Yeah, and she
And
can't
she-
figure it out.
She just like yeah, I guess she just rage quits and tears her hand off.
She starts stressing and like scratching her arm, and next thing you know, that whole
Yeah.
sucker just gets peeled off,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And I
oh
was
my-
saying too like
that's a shocker moment.
it's a shocker moment and it's also like I feel like you could just do that to an old person.
I know because their
You know,
skin's
their
like,
skin just looks so old and brittle kind of. It just looks like you could fucking peel it.
dude,
like,
the self-harm shit in this movie honestly gets me. Like
Yeah.
those two things, like in my opinion, are some of like the
those are some of the scarier moments.
just clinching moments. You know, like you're just
Yeah.
like what?
It's interesting because this movie does a lot of those scares really well, and then
Yeah.
as we'll get into a few of the other scares, I think some of them drop the ball a little bit.
For sure.
But I think overall, I mean, like 80% of the scares are like really, really good. There's just a few that like feel a little goofy.
Yeah,
but
the self-harm gore is definitely.
And so they get back to the house and she's like swallowing shit.
Yeah, they like say that she's swallowing shit. You don't like see it, but they're like, yeah, she's swallowing.
Which I wonder why. I don't know if that's just like an Alzheimer's thing or maybe it has to do with like the snake shit.
I think it probably has to do with the snake shit, but also I don't know because I don't know a lot about Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess if you were just like losing your like brain capacity and shit, you might just like forget,
think
like,
you're eating.
Yeah, think you're eating, or like you know how children put shit in their mouth. Like I don't know, maybe
like
something like that.
Eating Legos.
But like, I mean, like at the end when we get the swallowing kind of scene, the big swallowing scene, it's like that's kind of a reference to it, maybe like a foreshadowing of it in a way.
I mean, it is gardening gore.
Yeah. So this is where, right after that, this is when the painting scene happens, where the guy walks up and there's like a stack of paintings and it's like all the same painting, except there's like a black figure.
And he keeps getting closer.
And as he's removing the paintings, it's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. And then he turns, and Deborah's standing there, and the window's open.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're letting all my heat out."
Dude, yeah, and the fucking demon voice, like, shit, like, oh. And then the window just, boom.
Yeah, the window just slams shut.
Boom.
And so then I guess he just runs away.
Literally.
And it cuts, he shows me again, and he's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, yeah.
Who wouldn't?
And Mia's still trying to just deny it and be like, "Oh, like, you know, it's probably the wind, whatever." Like
the determination of a journalist fucking.
Yeah. Which I do think is believable. I think it's another thing where it's like, you know, someone, like, this is a driven filmmaker that wants to get this shit made, and, like, she's not going to just give up because, like, something creepy happens. Like, you know, she really wants to be there to do this.
Another thing that's really good, too, is they've already been there for, like, 3 to 4 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, they've been there so long, it's like, that's going to happen, and they all just quit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like.
And this is, like, you know, this is her first film she's trying to get made, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, she's obviously going to be very determined. And so then the guy's like, which is another great thing, after he shows her the scene, the guy's like, "Double my fucking rate or I'm out."
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
the window deal, I mean, he literally has on camera the window telekinetically literally just shutting, and Mia's like, "It's the wind."
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that, double my rate.
Yeah.
Another real ass moment. Dude, the beard guy with the glass, I wish I could remember his name, man, but like most relatable like character in a horror movie I've ever seen.
Easily, dude, for sure.
Smartest person in a horror movie.
Honestly,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
so this is where that shit like really starts to continue. Like it just keeps building, because right after that, we see her like get out of bed and walk around the house.
Yeah.
And they can't find her. Like, I guess they wake up and she like,
oh, I hate
Sarah's
this
on
scene.
bed, and so they find that like
scene.
the attic door is open, and they're going up the stairs, and there's like pieces of flesh on the stairs.
Yeah, it's literally
just looks like grandma jerky on the stairs.
Ripped off her other arm, and her skin is just on the stairs.
Yeah. So they go upstairs, and she's sitting at her old switchboard.
Yeah.
That she used to like work at.
Butt ass naked. She doesn't even look borderline like the same person almost. Like,
yeah.
She looks fucked.
And so she's at the switchboard, and she's plugging and unplugging the same like switchboard that's like someone's number, I guess.
Yep.
And so she's doing that, and she just keeps doing it, and then like a big flash like spark thing happens.
But also does not sound like a human herself or anything. She is making like demon sounds.
It's so freaky. It's so good.
freaky,
yeah.
and she's like bouncing up and down.
Yeah, she
and
starts like kind of jumping. Yeah,
like, really like.
Yeah, and
not
so,
a comfortable scene for sure.
And once that explosion happens, there's like a 1 second little frame of like a skull face kind of thing.
Yeah. Dude, so when we were just watching that, like it doesn't necessarily look like Dehardine, but it kind of looked like a gore Dehardine.
Maybe it's Dehardine's like skull.
Right? Dude,
yeah.
But it's like, I mean, we paused it earlier on it, but like his eyes are like in the back, and then his mouth is like wide open. Like, completely.
Yeah.
It's just like some crazy face.
Yeah, and they do that again at another point, and it's like, I remember looking up the frame. We could probably put it in the video, but it's like, It's like this weird spirally demon like fucking logo or like symbol.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so after that shit happens, they're like, why was she like plugging in that number or whatever? And they like go to find her phone book and they look up the number, but then like the number is like missing in the phone book.
Yeah.
And so then one of them does like a little coal trick where they like scratch coal over like the indent of the paper, and they find the guy's name is Desjardins, and she was trying to, I don't know, contact him or remember him or something like that. So then they look up Desjardins, and we get the lore on that.
Yeah.
It's basically like we find out he was dying of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and he was trying to become immortal by doing like a demon ritual where you like sacrifice 5 girls.
Yep. And it goes into it when it's going into his lore and everything and his goal, and he actually got away with killing 4 of them. And
he got 4 of them, yeah.
He got 4 of them. It shows their shots and stuff of
the
like
cops like
them
find
dead.
a house.
There's like a house.
There's like a bunch of cut open snakes.
Yeah, there's cut open snakes. Like this dude is just like a straight up Satanist.
Yeah.
Cult dude. I don't even know if you call him a cult dude. He's just trying to do some demon shit to become immortal.
Yeah. And so he gets 4 like people, but I guess he technically can't finish the ritual, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And he just goes missing. Nobody knows what happens to him. Like people don't know. I mean, I guess they assume at this point he would be dead because it's like 40 years ago and he was old. But yeah, he just goes missing. Nobody knows what happens to him. So then, like the next day, they're eating breakfast, and they ask Deborah at breakfast about him, and she says that he was murdered.
Yeah.
They say like, oh, like this guy went missing. Do you know anything? And he's like, she's just like, he's not missing. He was murdered.
Yeah. She's like, he's dead. And she's like, he's dead. And then they're like, what? Like it says he went missing. Like, how do you know that? And she goes, murder.
Yeah, murder. And then she goes and throws up worms.
Yeah. And then she goes upstairs and just hawks worms and dirt everywhere.
Yeah.
Just like you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And so at this point, like they're getting some lore. Yeah. They go to the hospital and they're like, why the fuck is she throwing up worms? The doctors are like, oh, she likes to garden. I guess she ate fucking dirt outside. Like, yeah.
Which is like a lot. Like, but like also it kind of goes to show that like I like that scene. I didn't realize this till just now, but like it's almost like they're going to the doctors for so much help and stuff, and then like they realize they're not getting that help back, so that's what makes them go so hard into discovering the Desjardins stuff and all of that, because then they're like, oh, this is like what it is.
It's the only thing that's like giving them answers.
Giving them answers or that like makes sense. And the movie makes it make sense because, you know, they're not getting any help from the doctors. Like,
yeah.
What else would you do if you're...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that is also kind of good symbolism of like doctors can only help so much with those diseases and shit. Because really all doctors do is like with those diseases is like make it somewhat comfortable for them to just die, you know? So that's like kind of another good just like symbolism or like commentary on like just like kind of the doctors just kind of doing all they can do, you know? Yeah. And it's really like, is it a doctor's place to like fucking find demon lore and be like of course they're gonna be like, I guess she ate fucking worms.
Yeah,
like,
and like the only other thing a doctor can do is like give you information.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? They're not the ones actually taking care of Deborah or anything. Like they're just there to give you information. And if an old lady is throwing up worms and dirt everywhere, they're like, she ate dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, the doctors aren't going to be like, well, it looks like she's possessed by a snake demon.
Yeah. They're like, oh, have you ever heard of a man called Desjardins who sacrificed 4 children? Yeah, he's possessed inside of your mother.
Yeah. We think that your mom actually killed him and is being possessed by him. Here's some aspirin. So, yeah, then after that, they start doing some research on the neighbor, Harris.
Yeah.
And they start to theorize that he killed Desjardins and he's getting Deborah to like help cover it up.
Yeah.
Cuz Harris is just like this good guy that like really cared about the town and the girls and shit. And while they research that, Harris just comes out with a shotgun and just starts blowing all their fucking windows out
on their car, and he's hammered.
He's just hammered with a shotgun. Yeah. So he's fucking firing, and I guess they call the cops.
Yeah.
And the cops come and like kind of by that time he's just like sitting on the ground, like he's like out of ammo, I guess. And he's just
Yeah.
drinking whatever, and he's just like an
old
guy.
Betsy, you come to get me or some
Yeah.
shit. He's like having his beer.
Yeah.
All the people inside are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you could say, we were talking about this earlier, but the only reason he would have been doing that is like, he didn't want them to like find the body or something.
Yeah, he knew they were probably starting to catch on to it, and he just like wanted them out of the situation.
it was to get them away, whatever reason that was for him wanting to get the crew away or whatever.
Yeah, and he was just pissed and drunk, and
Pissed and drunk. I want them out of there.
Yeah. And so a cop, that cop turns out to be Sarah's like lover to some extent.
It's a weird
girlfriend. Like they don't explain it super hard.
They don't explain it super hard.
Which is something we were like starting to struggle with, because like we were talking about, like we thought like Sarah being a gay character adds a lot to the story and makes it a lot more like you can feel for her a lot, and it adds a lot of depth to the situation. But specifically her relationship with that cop just doesn't really help the story and makes it a little bit more confusing towards the end, because really all you get is this scene where she comes up to the house and just like arrests the guy, kind of.
Like it's almost like the cops like, and like the conversation Sarah has with the cop is like just to remind you that she is gay.
Yeah.
But that's to sympathize with Sarah, you know, 'cause it's hard, like, or whatever. But I don't know. You're right. They don't give you a lot of information.
She's really only there and at the end where like they're chasing Deborah, like in the final like climax.
Yeah.
And
so we'll get into later why we think that is too or whatever.
Yeah, it just doesn't really do a whole lot. I was saying like I think they could have added just like one more scene, either like clarifying that like they're dating and they're like they love each other. Some
like they
shit
could have
like
made
that.
the cop a little more important character instead of like just a person to remind us that Sarah is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she kind of just meaninglessly dies at the end. Like she really doesn't even have. She doesn't even have like a good death.
No, you don't even
You
see
just
her
kind of
death.
see her body.
And not only, and honestly, the worst part about it that we were talking about earlier is that, like Sarah barely doesn't even stop, like past her dead body.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
Sarah like sees her dead body and she's like, "Oh, Mom!" And
yeah,
then,
just
like,
starts going after mom. Still, it's like there's not even like enough clarity of like, oh my god, like my girlfriend's dead or whatever. But yeah, we'll get to that when it comes up really.
Later.
But yeah, just like kind of just something there. It's like this like doesn't really do much for the movie. Kind of just makes it a little bit more like crowded, I guess. Like like that could just be a normal cop, and it would probably just give us more time to focus on characters that matter.
I literally think it's just to remind you that Sarah's gay, to sympathize with her.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much, I
literally-
guess. But it's like honest, it's still so low key that it's kind of hard to catch.
Yeah,
Because when I first watched it the first time, and when I watched it like the second time with you back then and shit, I was never
that's
like,
why they make it so low key that their relationship doesn't matter. Like
Exactly.
they're just reminding you, like, which I don't know why they're reminding you to like sympathize with Sarah. Like I get, like that's what they're going for, but it's like why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is Sarah the girlfriend? Or do you think or is the cop the girlfriend, or do you think the cop is...
Dude, I think the cop's just like her, like,
What if the
low-key
cop was
hookup.
the girl that she was talking about that she, like, kissed as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
That could also be it. But it's also, like, that just doesn't matter. Like,
No, yeah, exactly.
It doesn't add
matter.
much.
It's just to add, like, stress and hardship to the situation to, like, feel for Sarah more.
But they also kind of drop that on its head when she dies and nothing comes of it.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
the
it's
problem.
really
No,
just like...
that's the problem.
It's
of
just
her
poorly handled.
It's poorly. The death makes it very poorly handled. Dude, honestly, a death scene of her stopping over the body and stuff and just like having hard times over that and then just being like, okay, like I got to get it together. I got to do it for Mom now. Like, I gotta, like,
or
that
her
would've been a good
surviving and then like in that final scene, it's like, oh, like, daughter of Deborah Logan, Sarah, is getting married this weekend, whatever. Like just give her a little bit more of a happily ever after story. Like something better than just like her dying and it not mattering at all.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Something better than her dying and not mattering at all, for sure.
Yeah. So we got to get back. That's kind of, That's probably one of the worst things about the movie, but that's
Yeah.
like hardly a you.
It's not even in it.
You
like,
won't
yeah.
even
You
pay
won't
attention
even-
to
yeah,
it
yeah.
the first time you watch it. But one of the funniest things and the best things in this whole movie is
yeah.
after the shooting shit, the funny filming guy just goes, "Fuck this, I'm leaving."
Gone.
Yeah, literally just gets in his car. He literally is like looking at everyone and goes, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm out of this bitch."
And he's gone.
Yeah, and he just drives off. He's not in the rest of the movie at all.
Not in. Yeah.
And that's such a great thing because, like, obviously, like, everybody always talks about horror movies like, oh, why don't the characters just fucking leave at
get
this
out of
point?
there.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He does.
the movie solves that. The movie goes, yeah, this guy's fucking out. Like, he's smart enough.
Probably one of the best things in a horror movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what other movie has done that? I can't think of one.
I can't really think of one.
There might
yeah.
be one out there. Fuck, we've watched like almost everything.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever seen that.
Where some
Like,
guys just straight up like, fuck
I'm out.
this.
Fuck
yeah.
this.
It's so great.
Such a great
But
movie.
it also does make sense where, like, the other people in the movie, like, would stay because it's like, obviously, Sarah can't give up on her mom.
Sarah can't give up on her mom.
Mia's
diehard.
Mia's
about the
pretty tied
project,
into it at this point.
And she's like close with Sarah now.
Yeah.
Camera guy is camera guy. He needs to record
Camera
the
guy
movie.
hardly talks.
He
like,
literally doesn't talk.
he's pretty
the
forgettable,
only
but it's
time
like,
you see him is when he's setting up cameras in the house.
Honestly,
that's it.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, like, he just, maybe since the other guy left, he just, like, gets paid double or, like,
I like how
quadruple.
cameraman never dies too. Like the lore stays true.
Honestly,
Cameraman
cameraman never dies.
dies.
Yeah. That's facts. I guess. Yeah. No, but not does he die? But, like, in that ending cave scene, isn't it just Mia and
I think it's
Sarah?
just Mia and
Maybe he stays outside.
No, wait. Is cameraman in the cave or is Mia
I don't think
recording?
so. I'm pretty sure Mia's recording, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think he dies.
No, he doesn't die.
Oh, he stays behind with the cop that gets acided.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the cops, the fucking, yeah. We're getting too far ahead.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What's next in the movie?
So at this point, shit really starts at the fan. Deborah kidnaps a little girl with cancer in the hospital.
Okay, yeah, now we're getting into it.
And so at this point, you're like, all right, this bitch is fully losing it.
Mm-hmm. And they find her in a, is it like a morgue or like a, it looks like a fucking
It's like an
meat locker.
abandoned, yeah, or it's like the kitchen or some shit. It looks like an
Oh yeah,
abandoned
no, it
wing.
might be the kitchen. I think it's literally straight up a meat locker.
Yeah.
But there's no meat. But like it's a fridge.
It's like a metal
it's like a
looking ass
walk-in.
room.
Yeah. But yeah, she's just in there with the kid.
They're just like standing in
and
the
they're
corner, like
standing
holding hands.
backwards, facing the wall, like some Blair Witch shit.
Yeah,
holding
very Blair Witch.
hands, and they slowly approach her or whatever, and they grab the girl with cancer, and they start pulling her away from Deborah, and her hair's like all fucked up, and her head's like wet and shit,
Yeah.
and like you're like,
Yeah.
what's going
Just
on?
very
right
weird.
now?
But they get her away.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like Deborah, you can see her turn around, and she's like snarling. She looks like completely
So
gone,
evil, pissed.
evil,
Yeah.
gone.
And so Sarah goes to a priest.
yeah,
And the priest,
yeah.
the first priest guy is just like, I don't know, I can't help you.
He's like, exorcisms aren't even real. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Which is also another great. And then they go to the historian after that, right? After the priest.
Then after that, yeah.
Yeah. And then the historian starts off with, he's like, your mother knew Desjardins back in the day, and she just has obsessed over him and just has personality disorder and just thinks he's him.
Yeah.
Like, all the professional people in this movie don't even believe in their professions. Like, at
Yeah,
all.
pretty much.
They
yeah.
do, which is so sick.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically just like, oh, and then the historian guy's like, oh, but if you want a hypothetical, I'll give you the hypothetical of like the stuff I've studied my whole life, even though I don't think it's real.
Yeah, hypothetically, like the whole reason I have a fucking job, I guess this might be it. It's I don't give a fuck though.
Yeah.
It's not like my whole life is studying this. Yeah.
Like he doesn't believe in it, but like it's his whole
But
thing.
it's either like, do you think he doesn't want to believe in it, or do you think like he does believe in it, but it's like, what are the chances that that's actually happening to them? And if he like led those people to believe that and he was wrong, he would probably get in so much shit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
I
honestly
think it's
very
more of just
realistic
like he
take.
doesn't want that responsibility.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. For sure.
It's kind of like if you ask a lawyer for like legal advice or some shit, and they have to be like, well, hypothetically, like type shit.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Which is kind of nice. Honestly, makes it more realistic.
It does. It does. But yeah, so he says that because she is old and has Alzheimer's and like kind of debilitating, that she is more susceptible to like being possessed.
Yeah.
And so he says that in theory, and that's obviously what's happening.
Great point right there. Mind of the weak is easier to get possessed. He says it happens in old people. I mean, obviously, probably especially with Alzheimer's and small children
and young people, which gets.
We'll get into that later.
It gets that's kind of like a little bit of a Easter egg ending part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he also says like classic, just you got to burn the body of like the original person.
Burn the remains.
Yeah. Which I mean, I think it's fine. What else? I mean, that's like what else would you like want it to be? It's cool.
It's cool.
But then we do get a little bit of a goofy part in the movie where, well, a part of it's goofy, a part of it I actually like a lot, where Harris goes up to Deborah in the hospital and they're talking, and Deborah's basically like, you should kill me, because like they basically both know that like she's getting possessed and they like just don't know what else to do. And so Harris grabs a pillow and tries to smother her, and then a TV in the corner of the room just starts shaking and flies off of the fucking stand and like hits him in the head, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of goofy.
No, it's pretty goofy. It's like whatever. Like, I mean, it shows you that it's supernatural or whatever, but we kind of already knew that was going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a goofy way to do it. But the good part about that scene is being like, oh, like Deborah and Harris know what's going on right now. Like, that's the only reason Deborah asked him to kill her.
Yeah.
And it kind of proves the point of the them killing Desjardins.
Right. Because
like
once he gets hit and he's like, I guess he's going into surgery. Sarah's like talking to him as he's like laying on a hospital bed. He can like hardly talk or whatever because I guess his neck is broken. And he basically just fully explains like the fifth victim was gonna be Sarah. He says like the fifth victim was gonna be you.
Yeah.
And your mom killed Desjardins with her spade. Stabbed him with it. And they hid the body together.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like
save
we get the
Sarah,
full.
But you know.
And so I guess his body being buried there, like,
kept his spirit there as well, and then Deborah.
And so Sarah's trying to find the body.
Yeah.
And so Harris says like, it's by the statue, like where she gardens kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's done in a pretty cool way.
It is.
Because they're trying to prep him for surgery, and she's like trying to get all the answers out of him.
And it's like a quick, like snappy deal. You got to like lock in to really pick it all up.
Because he's like whispering it, and they're like they're putting like subtitles on screen where it's just like she used her spade, like little things where you gotta like pay attention.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they find out where it's buried, so they rush there and they try to dig it up, and they start digging and they just find her spade and like dug like into the ground. So like they're like, oh fuck, like Deborah got here first.
Yeah.
So then they're like running around the house trying to look for it, and they look up and the ceiling is just like dripping wet.
Yeah. And it's like in kind of the shape of a body.
Yeah. And this is some good attic horror.
Great attic horror.
I think attics are scarier than basements, because basements at least have like stable stairs.
Yeah.
I hate like ladders and shit.
Yeah, ladders into a dark space that no one ever goes.
Yeah, where you're trying to find a dead body of a demon guy.
And it's leaking through the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's scary because you feel so vulnerable, like climbing up into something.
Also, finding a dead body.
Yeah, like, because, that's another good thing is, like, when they find the dead body, they're freaking out.
Yeah.
Because it goes from, like, this is a crazy old woman to, like, we just found a dead body of a fucking serial killer guy.
Well, also another aspect of it is, like, the Desjardins shit, like, if you're in a real situation like that, do you really think that stuff's actually, like, believable? And
right.
They don't even really know for sure yet.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the first proof of, like,
and then once they find it, they're like,
shit,
oh, my God.
There's
like,
a fucking
even if it's
body.
not a demon guy, even if the demon shit isn't real, it's a dead body.
Right.
It's, like, rotting fucking bones.
Yeah. And that's, like...
It's not even a body. It's bones.
It's bones in a bag.
Yeah.
Like,
in a fucking burlap sack.
But that's the first proof of, like, okay, like... this makes sense. This Desjardins shit is legit.
Yeah,
Like,
and so they try to burn it. And at first, it doesn't work.
At first they get downstairs and they're about to burn it, and then the snakes just
start coming out of it.
Which
yeah,
is another proof, like, okay, this is Desjardins shit.
Yeah, and so then they like throw it into the fireplace and like cover it in gasoline. They like really, because they're squirting gasoline on it and it's like not lighting.
Yeah.
And then they like put a fuck ton and they put it in the fireplace and it starts lighting up on fire. But then like a big explosion happens and they get knocked back.
This scene doesn't really do it for me, honestly.
That's fair.
It's kind of like the TV one. It's not as bad as the TV one, but I don't know. I just think it's a little goofy on the way, like, it just doesn't work or whatever. I don't know. Does it not work because it's like demon shit or whatever, but it like works at the end? I don't know. And we can get into that later.
I don't think it's like an amazing scare. Well, that's not an amazing scare like the explosion, but then like when they turn and there's like a face in the window, that is pretty creepy.
No, I agree.
That's a pretty good face. And that's when there's like a freeze frame of like a demon like kind of symbol.
Yeah, symbol
it looks
in the
really
middle.
cool.
It's almost like a snake symbol.
It looks
or
like
something.
it looks more like centipede-y in a way.
Yeah.
But definitely probably snake. It's like a lot more snake imagery in this movie, which I think is cool.
It wasn't even like the scare aspect of the little blow up thing. It was more like plot point aspect for me.
Like why you don't like it?
Well, the only reason I don't like it, and we'll talk about it later too, but at the end they burned the body again, and it just works all of a sudden.
That's true. But I mean, that's kind of what I was saying is though, like they kind of needed Deborah's help to like fight it off, and like Deborah wasn't there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
So I feel like that's like a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, they try to burn the body. It doesn't really work. And then at this point, Deborah breaks out of the hospital with the cancer kid. In a crazy ass way. Yeah, she like bites out this cop's neck.
Security dude at the front, literally full on zombie attacks him.
Yeah, which is good because like she just seems like a non-threatening old woman, whatever, and gets like the jump on him.
Full Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Neck throat.
Yeah.
Bite
What are you gonna do now, sport? Yeah. And so yeah, they fucking dip. I wonder how far away the cave is from the hospital because they like get there on foot.
Right? Oh, wait. Before they get to the cave, dude, getting up. They pull up in the car with the cop girl or whatever. Deborah or Sarah and the cop girl have like another, tease that I'm lesbian conversation, but we don't know anything about the cop moment.
Yeah, we just don't know anything about the cop, and it's kind of just like a relationship where it's like, I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
they're just like teasing it.
Happy for you guys, but like there's not enough depth here to like care.
Exactly. Great take. Not enough depth to care. But anyways, they get to the river that they were talking about, like the in the Desjardins lore or whatever, like the river right next to the mines or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was called or whatever, but it kind of gives you the first look that like they're in the area that Desjardins was doing the rituals. Anyways, they pull up and Deborah's just standing with the kid.
Yeah, she's facing one way and the little girl is facing them.
Yeah.
And her hand is like just bone.
Like bone, and the little girl just looks fucked up, and she's just sitting there, and they're like walking up slowly, and the little girl's like, "Don't hurt him. He's a nice man.
Yeah.
He's going to wash me in the river."
Yeah.
And
she's like repeating
dude,
that.
That scene, that's
so they get closer and closer, and the cop tries to handcuff her, and she just fucking spits like acid at him.
Acid venom at him. Like,
which at this point, like, I mean, you were saying right here, like the gradual buildup is still so good because like they just take it up one notch, like little by little. And like at this point, you're like, she's fucking shooting acid at people. Like
shooting acid at people, and it's like you're like,
but it's not
what?
even like it's not like crazy where it takes you out of it. Like she just like spits a little bit, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Like the cop's face is burned or some shit. Yeah.
And then it just keeps going.
Yeah. And so I think at this point, that one camera guy dips out because that guy stays with the cop.
Yeah, and then Mia and Sarah and the cop girl go after Deborah, and the little girl. And they basically wound up at the front door of, like, the mine, but you don't even know it's the mine yet. It's just, like, a door.
It's kind of just like an empty, like, house building weird
empty
thing.
House built. Oh, what if you think that's Desjardins' house?
Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Maybe, yeah. They just didn't really... I guess it could have been where he was hanging out.
Right?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it's so empty.
It is so empty, but it kind of looks like an abandoned house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way more of a house than like a.
And it's like did they say that his house was in the area he was trying to do this?
Maybe.
Ritual.
I don't remember.
I don't
but I
exactly
do remember like
either.
the cops found it. So I guess it would make sense that there's no like evidence there. I just think it would have been cool if they found if like the house was if they gave you a few more nods to like this is where Desjardins like was set up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's really just like a completely empty house.
It really is.
But so then like it's Sarah and Mia are like kind of hiding somewhere, and then like they hear some gunshots, like a window breaks.
Yeah.
And they go in, and the cop is just dead on the floor with like snakes.
Yeah.
And they maybe pan that's like the camera's like steady on the body for like 2 seconds, and then Deborah's like running, and they're like, oh, and they like go chase her. So it's like cop's
what were
dead.
those conversations with the cop even for?
Cop's dead. Cop didn't die in a cool way
Yep.
and not in an emotional way.
Right.
And so it's kind of just like, all right, well, I guess her girlfriend's dead, but like I don't really.
But is it a girlfriend?
Is it
Like,
even
we
a
don't know anything
girlfriend?
about it. Sarah seems to not.
Sarah
even
seems to not give a
care.
fuck. Yeah.
Like, why throw any of that up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Needed a better death or an emotional scene or like give us some crazy gore of Deborah sticking her hand.
Yeah.
The cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, and so at this point, this is where we get into fucking claustrophobic gore.
Yeah, this scene will get your heart race going.
Yeah, if you're a claustrophobic boy or girl, they gotta like crawl sideways into this fucking rock cave
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I forgot they crawl and then the snakes come.
Yeah, and they're like crawling past snakes and shit.
Yeah.
Which fucking suck. A lot of really good, diverse amount of horror where there's like some
There
body
is.
horror and then like kind of the claustrophobic area horror like that.
Snake horror.
It's like snakes.
Yeah.
Like if you're afraid of snakes, I feel like this movie would freak you out a lot.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
JJ would fucking hate this movie.
Yeah.
And psychological, like so many
Yeah.
different aspects that this movie like really fucking hits the nail on the head with.
I agree.
But so yeah, they get into the cave, and then this is one of the most classic modern scares ever. Like you've probably seen this clip on Instagram.
Yeah.
You've
Honestly,
probably seen it
I
on
think
the internet.
like people haven't seen this movie, but they see the picture of like one of the most fucked up photos.
Which is crazy. I mean, when you see it for the first time, you can't even believe your eyes.
Yeah, because it's like so well CGI.
And again, it takes
so
it up
well.
that notch.
It takes up that
So
notch.
you
still.
turn the corner, or they're in the cave, and they're looking for Deborah, and they turn the corner, and Deborah's with the girl, and her jaw is like dislodged like a snake, and her whole mouth is just swallowing the girl whole.
like literally all clasped around the entire girl's head, sucking like the life out of it.
And like it turns the corner, and it's like there's zero like sound.
yeah,
Like there's no like shock. There's not like a big like spike in music.
just,
It's like
watching
it's just
that
like
happen.
3 full seconds of like what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
stomach drop moment for
Yeah.
sure.
And so Sarah has a gun,
yeah.
and she shoots.
Boom.
She shoots at Deborah.
Oh, one thing that we forgot to talk about is, and the other reason which I think Sarah finally uses the gun is before that scene happens. Deborah, they like go up behind Deborah and try to like see if she's okay, and you get a jump scare, but then she attacks Mia. She attacks Mia and gets her on the
Oh,
ground.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like Mia's like bleeding and shit everywhere and all that, and then like that's when it cuts to the shot of Sarah getting out the gun. Like that's
yeah.
why she straight up shoots her.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, so she
that's
shoots
her
her.
mom still, you know?
Yeah.
Like is she just gonna full blown shoot her already? Like
Right.
they give you a good reason for her to get out the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a little. I always think too when I watch that scene, like I wonder where she shoots her, because I feel like if you shot her in the head, she's swallowing the girl. Like, would the bullet not like go through her head and hit the girl
No,
too?
right?
So I guess she like shot her in the side,
Shot her
like
in
the
side,
shoulder,
because
or
her head
something.
like goes back and you see like
Yeah,
her whole
yeah, and
mouth.
her jaw is still like open, and it's like yeah, it's fucked.
It's
fucked. Great, like
It's
fucking
great
CGI,
horror.
I guess.
And this is just full climax after this. You're just getting quick shots, camera cuts, fucked up
yeah,
faces, fucked up screams. Like Deborah is full fucking demon Desjardins, face manipulated. Like, dude, the one shot of like 2 seconds when she's like looking up and her head's like pulsing or whatever, like all around. Like that's a crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, like the fucking gradual just turning up that dial of horror. Like at this point, it's at fucking 11.
It's at 11, and the movie
And it
does
earned
so good at just building gradually up to that moment.
Yeah.
This is the
Because like she
climax of the
spits
movie.
the acid, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then it's like that swallowing scene is like, holy shit! Like, how did we get here?
And then it's literally just 2 minutes of just fucking jump scares, everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And
your
so-
heart's pounding.
And
Like,
so when she shoots her, after that, she like gets the sedative in her
finally.
that the doctor gave her like towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And they get the sedative, and then like Sarah's being like trying to like motivate her mom, saying like, I know you're in there, Mom. Like, you have to fight it. You know.
Yeah.
Like, trying to get her mom back out of the demon, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And then they start burning the
And
body.
they burn the body, and I guess I honestly
I like
think-
your take a lot.
What?
About, like, because I was talking about the burning the body thing earlier. It doesn't really do it for me because they do the same thing twice. But I like what you said. I think that they needed Deborah to fight off Desjardins.
Yeah.
And, like, since Desjardins is in her, like, you know, she's still in the vessel.
Definitely.
In.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna say though, who brought the bones there?
Oh, good.
But I'm pretty sure the mom did. I think we just missed.
The mom brought the body there?
I think so.
I don't know. I feel like I remember them saying. I feel like I remember Sarah saying when the body blows up or whatever in the house after they burn it, like, grab the body, grab the body.
They do.
I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but I feel like I remember.
I'm pretty
them
sure the
saying.
mom brought it. But either way, the bones are there.
Either way, the bones are there.
And once they get the sedative in, they're like telling her mom to fight it and whatever. They're telling Deborah to fight it. They fucking light it up. And this time it really lights on fire.
Yeah.
And like some shit starts happening with the walls and whatever.
Yeah, like it shows like a mini, which I didn't even see until the last time we watched it, but it shows like a mini ghost like walking up the walls of the mine.
Yeah, something
like,
weird like that.
Like it's like
it's hard to
leaving
see
Deborah's body or something. It's like Desjardins leaving Deborah's body.
And so they get so basically like I guess they cleanse Deborah of it.
Yeah.
And Deborah's kind of like she's not okay, but she's like
not
trying to kill people.
She's like out of it. Like what happened? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then like we're out of that scene and it kind of goes to just like a news forecast.
Yep.
And it's basically saying that like Deborah is like alive, but her like condition is worse. Like she's still just like she's not fit to stand trial.
Says she's not verbal anymore too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she can't stand trial for like the case of like everything that
The
happened.
cop dying.
Because she's
and
just
all
kind of
that.
like in a vegetable state.
Literally.
Which fucking really sucks.
I know.
Although the movie weirdly feels like it has a happy ending because of like nobody that important dying. Like it's still like pretty grim when you like really think about it.
No, and then get to the Easter egg too.
So like Deborah is a vegetable, but
Deborah's a vegetable.
the little cancer girl.
It doesn't even give you any information about Sarah or Mia either. Just Deborah.
No, I guess they're fine.
They're fine.
They're never gonna like sleep or be okay again, but they're alive.
Yeah.
No, I would love to see the guy that drove away. I'd love to see him like reacting to the news or some shit and just being like, I told you, motherfuckers. Like,
and then it just ends.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
That would be fucking awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, and so the news says that the cancer girl went into complete remission and she's fine, like her hair is completely back.
Yep.
And then like the news is interviewing her and they're like, "Oh, like do you have plans for when you grow up?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, what is it?" And she's like, "It's a secret."
And then she just like turns to the camera and just like smirks.
Yeah.
evilly.
You know that meme of like the little girl like smiling at the camera with like a burning building
Yeah,
behind her?
it's exactly
It's
the same
honestly
vibe.
that, yeah.
Great take.
And then it just ends
Right there.
with her face.
With
yeah,
her
which the
face.
little girl. So I guess it's like
So you want to talk about what you think the interpretation of the ending is?
I mean, yeah, I don't even know if it's an interpretation. I feel like it just is what it is, but like
I feel like it's so left up to interpretation. Like you can view it in so many different ways.
you kind of can, yeah.
Like for me, the way
Especially since there's not a sequel,
there's no sequel, so you really don't know.
which I do think makes this movie better because if there were more, they might be shitty.
Yeah. I feel like there's only really two ways to look at it. Either you can look at it like Desjardins' spirit or his rituals like worked
Mm-hmm.
and he's in this girl now, and that's how he continues his immortality.
Yeah, like
He
the same
just-
thing that happened to Deborah happened to her.
Same thing that happened to Deborah happened to her. And then he just has to keep doing that ritual every time. Or like it's just another possession because that little girl is a weak-minded kid,
Right.
like the historian said.
Right, like she's the perfect vessel.
She's
for
the
it.
perfect vessel for him, and he still needs to complete that 5th.
Right, so he's gonna like just be in her body and use her to like get another girl.
Get one more girl,
Which
and
that's
kill.
what makes most sense to me.
That's what makes the most sense to me, I think, as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like if he's in her, would he like kill her for a ritual? And that, because I guess I'm confused on like if he was trying to be immortal when he was alive,
Right.
but now if he does it, is he like gonna be like an immortal spirit that like doesn't need a body kind of thing? Like what even is that? Is he gonna become like a ultra powerful like demon?
Yeah, right? Like, he wants his own body back, right? Is
I
that
guess,
the
but
immortality?
he doesn't even have a body anymore.
he
He's
doesn't
just
even
like
have a body.
bones that got burned up.
Mm-hmm. That's why you could take the first route and just be like, oh, the immortality aspect of the ritual he's trying to complete is literally just like a vessel-to-vessel situation.
Maybe he does have to just keep like hopping vessels or some shit. Yeah.
But basically, you get that no matter what, Desjardins in this little girl because she's weak-minded.
At the same time, though, you could also just say that he died and the girl just like is a young girl that said a weird thing.
The only reason I don't think that is because of the weak-minded thing the historian said or whatever, and about not only being in old people with Alzheimer's, but children. Like the fact he throws in that weak-minded and throws in children too.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
you know?
I mean, it is the perfect like it's the perfect like ominous horror movie ending.
Yeah,
where
it's an
like,
ominous
oh,
ending,
what is
you
it?
know?
You know?
Yeah.
And I guess this movie just won't get a sequel because it flopped when it came out.
Yeah, right? But, I mean, honestly,
It doesn't need one.
It doesn't need one.
At
And
all,
the
yeah.
thing this horror movie does so well is it never goes less than the way it just built.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the TV thing, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it just steadily, not only right off rip gets crazy, but just keeps going all the way up until this 10-minute ending just climax that gets your heart going.
Yeah, it's so
Like,
crazy.
It's so crazy. Should we get into the rating?
Yeah, so at this point, we're going to get to our Lore and Gore scoreboard.
The Lore and Gore scoreboard.
So basically, we pick a few different aspects of storytelling and filmmaking that we just kind of came up with, and we're going to rate each of those aspects on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yep.
And then we basically add all of them up and get the average of all those numbers, and that is how we combine our Lore and Gore score.
Lore and Gore score. This is actually such a good way to combine it too, because we both get a rating. We both
And I want to do mine fresh because I know we already did it, right?
Yeah, no, I have all the ratings
All
right,
right,
here, but
cool.
I deleted them all.
Good.
So first off, this movie has so many great aspects. It's gonna
This
be
movie's
so
gonna get
good.
this movie's gonna get a great rating.
It's gonna get a
I
good
do want to
rating.
do episodes in the future where we purposely review shit movies.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down.
Like,
You
honestly,
gotta,
a great-
get the shit ones out of the way.
A great one to review would be stop motion,
Oh yeah,
because that would be a very good. I think we could like explain our take pretty well on all that shit.
Yeah.
Like we can do movies where it's like,
especially comparing.
because
it
I'm
to
sure
other
there's
movies.
people that love that movie,
Yeah, there's people that love that movie.
but like we can also just review complete shitters. Like,
I mean, for anyone out there, me and this guy think stop motion is a complete shitter.
yes.
It's a horror movie. Don't try to make it an art fan festival.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. So we
Whatever.
can do that, and then we could also do like American Guinea Pig, Song of Solomon.
no. All right.
Yeah.
The lore.
The lore.
The lore.
So lore basically is like story that you find out in passing of like characters talking about it, but it's not like happening on screen per se.
Yeah.
And this is great lore.
Any background, past information.
So this is basically the whole Desjardins story,
Exactly.
which is really cool
Right?
because it's like it's him with ALS, which is another debilitating disease,
Yeah.
and he's basically trying to do anything he can to get out of that.
Yeah.
And like we see throughout the movie how shitty having a disease is like
Yeah.
that. And so I think that plays on the theme of the movie perfectly,
Mhm.
and like you learn about him in really cool ways. And I mean, the whole thing is just really cool.
I love how much everything connects with the lore aspect of everything.
It really does.
Like them talking about Dehardine, and then they talk about the river that they go to, then they talk about the mines that they go to, and it's like in the same place that he did the rituals or whatever. And like they just do such a good job of like connecting every aspect of the important plot points of the movie with the lore.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like when we did this, I put it around an 8, and I feel like I'm going to do that again.
oh, around an 8, really?
Yeah. Were you going to go like 9?
Yeah, I was gonna go close to a 9, but yeah.
I do. I mean, I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to do is think about what is a movie that has better lore.
That is true.
And like I think of like one of my favorite movies, It.
Yeah.
But that movie is like, the lore is like a fucking like history book of lore.
It is. And,
It makes the movie feel like a huge universe, which I
Yeah.
love. It's like something you can really get lost in. But this movie is just more of a self-contained movie.
no, you're right. I shouldn't get gore mixed in with the plot too. Or
Yeah.
lore mixed in with the plot too, you know?
Yeah.
Lore is just basically information from the past.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's good. I think I'm gonna go 8.5 for me.
Yeah. I think I was going to say
You
8.4.
8.4?
Honestly, though, I'll give it 8.5.
Double 8.5?
Yeah.
Alright. Now we got the gore rating.
The gore is really good.
Great gore. Builds well.
The gore is great on the first watch through, but like I said, like that first CGI of her tearing her neck out is pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. But like the shock factor
It's lower
of
budget.
I mean, from the first time watch through, the shock factor of it and the way that it's executed is so great.
Yeah.
That, like you have to that's taken into consideration with the gore aspect for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean we get the skin,
The self harm,
tearing,
shit,
the
and
fucking jerky on the stairs.
the
Her hand just being torn off when she's like holding the girl's hand. Obviously, like that ending scene is like
insane.
I mean, I feel like we're still in the 8 territory for me.
Yeah, I'm still in the 8 territory too.
I feel like I would go.
I hate that I want to go 8.5 again.
I might go 8.3.
8.3 for gore?
Because I think this movie has pretty good gore, but it's more like scary.
Yeah. It's like scary. It's
But I guess
well executed.
when we use the word gore, we just mean scariness, right?
No, yeah. We just mean scariness when we use the word gore, not like bloodiness or slashiness.
Yeah, like
I'm purely going off of the scare factor of the gore.
And it's really good.
Yeah. The scare factor is an 8.5 for me as well.
Yeah. I think depending on what
I hate that I almost want to go 9.
I
like
mean,
this movie scared the shit out of me. I
yeah,
had to fucking turn it off.
If it's that movie for you,
the
yeah.
first time I watched it, I was high off my ass and I had to turn it off. Like,
yeah.
I'm going from my first watch experience as well.
I feel like if I watched this movie one time and we did this, I would give it like an 8.7.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just because I've seen it so many times, and
I know.
I'll give it 8.7.
I'm going 9, man.
Yeah.
And you know, if that's too high for y'all, like, I'm sorry. This movie to me is the scariest movie I've ever seen, and I'm only giving it a 9. So
yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
I feel like we can't give 10s, you know.
No,
like,
never a 10. You
Yeah.
can't go 10. Like 9's gonna be the highest until I see something that shocks my world. And
Do you
it's
not think there's anything scarier than this movie that you've seen?
No. This is scary, bro. What other movie have I ever had to turn off?
Yeah.
I had to turn off this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this movie freaked me the fuck out.
I mean, the edibles definitely
the edibles
made me turn it off. Like, if I were to watch it sober for the first time, I still can't lie though. Like, when I rewatched it with my friends back home, like, obviously I wasn't as scared because I knew it was gonna happen. But during that ending scene, I'm watching it and I'm not like scared, but I feel my heart like pound. Like, it's still like physically scaring me, and I'm like shocked. I'm like, oh my god, like,
that's awesome.
yeah. I'm going 9.
All right.
8.3.
8.7.
8.7.
Yeah. This movie is like really scary for me for sure. I've just
you think the gore is better than the lore in this movie? I know, right?
That's a good point.
Think about that. For me, yes.
Yeah.
For me, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't really think about it. I don't think I compare the scores that way.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it only makes sense, right?
I mean, yeah, it's better by 0.2. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
better
it is.
by 0.2.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
better by 0.2. All right, now we got the moral rating.
Moral rating. Morals of the movie. I think this movie has great morals of like the aspects of like
Alzheimer's.
kids not abandoning their parents through anything.
Yes.
And another thing we didn't even really talk about earlier was how Deborah saved Sarah from fucking getting killed in a demon ritual.
You mean Sarah saved Deborah?
Deborah saved Sarah. Because she was going to be the fifth victim.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't really even touch on that.
No, yeah.
Because like,
we did for a second.
You watch the whole movie and you're kind of like, oh, she's hating on Sarah for being gay. That sucks. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, like, she saved her kid from getting sacrificed in a fucking ritual.
She killed a guy to save her kid.
And hid the body for fucking 40 years. Yeah.
Which is insane. And it also goes to show, like, no matter how your parents, like, treat you or, like, what they say or whatever, like, they will do anything for you. Like,
and
no
that's
matter what.
some good shit.
That's some good shit, too.
And that's really not shit you see in a horror movie a lot.
I also love how it goes, like, a two-way streak as well. Like, you know, Sarah doesn't even know any of that, and her mom has, like, low-key picked on her and judged her entire life for anything.
Yeah.
And Sarah's, like, living with her, taking care of her for years and years and years. Like, family sticks up for each other. Thick and through, you know, or thick and thin.
Thick and thin.
Yeah, thick and through.
You also said two-way streak a second ago.
Is it not two-way streak?
It's two-way street. Because it's a two-way street. What is a streak?
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato.
It's a two-way streak deal. I'm streaking. You can streak either way.
Yeah.
Fuck. What am I gonna give this? I mean, honestly, I can't.
It's not like insane morals. It's good.
I think it's very good.
It's very
good.
It's not super deep, but it's like good.
It's not super deep, but like, how many horror movies can you think about that like really have deep shit like that?
I agree, dude.
Like, I think we're still in the 8s.
So
I think we're still in the 8s. Like,
really? I mean,
maybe 7.
I'm going 7.8. 7.7. 7.7 for me.
Dude, I think I want to do 8.1.
Go for it.
Because, like, I mean, what other movies have I seen recently that, like, have those good-ass themes and shit?
I know, like, from, like,
what's crazy is, like, that movie Stop Motion, I would give really good moral rating.
Oh, great moral rating.
I just think, like, storyline and characters and shit would get, like, 3s and 4s.
I know. It does not make you care about anyone.
Yeah.
And then just throws a bunch of blood in your face. All right, fuck that, man. I can't even
fuck that
movie.
movie.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah, I said 8.1. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going 7.7 for me.
Because I mean, it helps me to think about other movies and be like, what would I rate that and shit.
No, you're right.
Because, like, morals of, like, it would probably have very good moral rating.
I was about to say, that's the thing. I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's one.
But something better. Like Hell House is, like, that movie doesn't really have, like, a lot of morals and, like Friday the 13th movies and shit like that. And, like...
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
It just depends. Like, some movies just aren't, like, aren't based around that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to think of one that does. Fuck, you're kind of right, bro.
Like, but and that's just, I mean, some horror movies are just, like, not for that.
Grave Encounters doesn't really have.
That's what I thought that too.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm just thinking around. Like, Sinister, I think, has a good moral rating.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, let's move on.
Conjuring really doesn't.
Yeah, maybe family shit, but
I think I'm going to go 7.9. Character rating. This gets a great one too.
This gets a really good one too, man.
I'm in that 7.7, 8.2 range for me.
Yeah. It's this movie's so interesting too because the main character and the main person you're scared of, you have such an interesting relationship with them where it's like you are afraid of them, but you're also sleeping in the same house as them. Mm-hmm. And, like, eating breakfast with them and shit.
I feel like if you're an empathetic person, this movie's going to be 20 times as scary. Like, I feel like if you're not an empathetic person, it's very easy for you to just go, fuck the grandma.
Yeah,
The grandma's a demon bitch. Fuck the grandma. Get out of there.
Yeah.
But, like, if you really treat it real, treat it like it's actually happening, take in the situations that, like, and realize this stuff actually happens besides, like, the demon shit.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it's fucked. Like, it'll suck you in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, Deborah is a super scary, interesting, memorable main character.
Yes.
Sarah is a super relatable, good person main character that, like, makes good decisions throughout the whole movie. That's what, dude. I mean, like, none of these characters do stupid horror movie shit.
I agree.
None of them do.
No, none of them do.
Like,
none of them do.
Mia is
maybe
a great,
Mia trying to not acknowledge that shit's demon. I guess she doesn't care.
Yeah, maybe.
But like, that's not even like bad. She just gets to the point where she gets roped in enough to where she has to.
Yeah,
Like,
and like
she wants her movie to be made.
That main camera guy being hilarious
And leaving.
and dipping out.
Yeah.
But like so like those three characters are
The cop
awesome.
weighs it down though.
Cop weighs it down. The other camera guy kind of weighs it down.
Yeah, the other camera guy is camera.
Yeah, which is like
fine.
Well, no, because it's like if you're making a found footage movie and you just have a guy that doesn't say anything and holds the camera, it's kind of like, well, that's convenient for a found footage movie, you know?
Well, yeah, but you could also argue that in an actual documentary about Alzheimer's, would the guy filming ever talk?
Yeah. That's like somewhat true for sure.
Yeah.
But like we don't even know his name and I can hardly picture what he looks like.
I mean, they were trying to make an actual documentary though about it. I wouldn't want
We
to
remember
know.
the other guy way more and he's a camera guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true because of the behind the scenes shit. You're right. He's literally just cameraman.
Yeah. And like Harris is also a really good character.
Harris is a good character.
Maybe 8.8 for me.
Wow, you really love the characters in this movie.
I mean, I just think they're like very well done. Think about other movies. Like Grave Encounters has like funny characters, but like I don't love them. I'm not super interested in them.
For me, I think I love that the characters all have a perfect role and that they're in the movie for the perfect amount of time they should be in the movie.
Yeah.
However, I don't necessarily like love them.
Yeah.
Like they're not like I get Sarah's whole back deal. I'm not as sympathetic for Sarah, really. I mean, I am, but it's like I don't know. I'm not like yearning to care. I'll tell you what I like. I'm rooting for them to figure out the situation and get it handled. But I'm not like rooting for them as like people. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
I think I'm rooting for like Sarah to save her fucking mom.
I'm rooting for Sarah to save her mom too.
Maybe I'll bring my score down a little.
No. Don't bring your score. Or do what you think.
I don't want to score it too high, honestly.
Like I said, I'm at that 7.2 to 8.3.
I think especially since it's our first episode, like I'll probably look back on this and be like, maybe I'll lower this.
I mean,
that,
I'm confident in it because.
But this is a great movie.
This is like our favorite. I mean,
this is such a good
my
movie.
Favorite.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe I'd do 8.6.
8.6.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do 8 flat. All right. Plot rating. Should we do plot rating or formula rating or both?
Plot or formula or both?
Yeah.
Both.
Okay.
Plot. I mean, dude, the amount of times we said like how good the gradual increase is. I mean, like we're still in 8 territory, maybe even 9.
We're big 8 territory here.
Like
Big 8 territory.
I mean, like how many times do we have to fucking say it? Like the way it starts from like just it starts and that dial just keeps turning and like by the end you're like holy fuck, like
Literally.
it just keeps going.
Never slows
And
down.
it's like perfect climax.
and it gets into it quick.
It does.
Like, it gives
not
you-
too quick either. It just
No.
gives you what you fucking need to
It
know.
gives you what you need to know, and you're like, wait, what is this? Like, what? I'm like learning about Alzheimer's. Then all of a sudden,
because when you
ripping
think
out her
about
throat.
like think about the groups of people you've watched this movie with.
yeah,
Like if the movie took like an extra 5 minutes to like be too slow and shit, people would just like check out.
literally,
You know,
But
like when a horror movie can like set the tone and like make you feel like you know the characters and you're like settled into the movie and like you're still entertained and scared quick. Like, I mean, that's like so crucial for a horror movie.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm at the fuck.
I feel like I have to give it like a 9 flat.
I was low-key thinking 9 flat as well.
Because I mean, like,
No, I just looked at my other ratings too, and I'm 9 flat. I think the plot's right on point with the gore for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. Because, all right, let me think about a few random movies that are in my head right now. Like, Hell House, I love the plot of that movie. But to be honest, I think the final act can fall short a tad.
Yeah.
Like, Grave Encounters, watching it a second time, it felt like it was dragging a little. Or watching it a third time.
CGI is kind of...
Yeah, but I'm talking about plot.
Oh.
But
Plot's all right. I mean, I love the idea. I love the formula.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
It's a great concept.
Sinister plot, super good. I'm just thinking
Super
of like
good.
random ass movies, but
I mean, It plot's better than this.
It plot is
Like the greatest one.
I'm gonna have to give a lot of like 9.9s when we do that movie.
Ooh, 9.9 is. I mean, if any horror movie plot deserves it, it's It.
Yeah.
Its plot is.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I feel like 9 flat. The plot. I mean, like how we were saying, man. Like, it's so important for horror movies to like grab your attention and go. And grab your attention and go, but also not go too quick to where like it starts being scary and you're like, why should I be scared right now? I don't give a fuck about what's going on, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But it just keeps turning the dial and never stops. It gets right off rip, and then you're like, holy shit, like that was a lot all of a sudden. And then next thing you know, the next thing that happens is even more.
Yeah.
Like they do it so well. They give you so many different types of scares too.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. All right.
9 flat. Now we got
Formula.
the formula.
Dude, Formula's fucking great too.
Mockumentary
about Alzheimer's.
about a serious disease that actually happens
and affects tons of people.
Even
if it's not a disease that like affects you, old age in general is something that literally affects everyone.
Yeah. It's believable. Really, the formula is just mockumentary about a disease that's happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really like the mockumentary found footage style.
Maybe 8.2.
I'm right with you. I'm going 8 flat. What are you going, 8.2?
I think I'll do 8.2 just to be a little bit more generous.
All right.
Because, I mean, again, I'm trying to compare to more movies. Like, what do I think has a better formula? Like, do you think Hell House has a better formula than this? Maybe.
Hold on. Well, they're low-key, like, they're the same, but they're different. Like, this formula is basically just found footage, but it's like documentary. I mean, Hell House is kind of found footage, but it's documentary style, too.
Yeah, it's not like... It is documentary style, actually, because it has those interviews and shit.
It has the interviews and shit and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, also Hell House is one where it, like... It cuts to like the documentary style more, and then there's like the found footage within
a documentary. Yeah.
This one's more like student film.
Yeah, this is like there's 3 people filming and making it, and and like Hell House is like some people found these tapes. There's like police people talking about it. There's like internet videos. It's like way more pulled from a bunch of different things.
Like the characters in Hell House never would have thought that like that footage that they're recording themselves and shit with their friends would be in a documentary.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's the only difference, really. This is like straight up.
But like Hell House 2, where like the formula is like it's like a news cast combined with like other shit.
That formula's crazy.
That's a dope one too.
That's a cool one.
Like, do you think that's higher? Do you think that's higher or lower than like 8?
I'll tell you. I just kind of had a realization. I like the Deborah Logan one so much because since there's not as much like cutaways and it's like actually feels like the whole thing is a student film and it's like a mockumentary and like you get gore scenes, but like. You don't think that CGI and those extra special effects that are put in on the climax like are going to happen because, or at least
it feels a lot more grounded.
It feels grounded and more real, and like you don't think I didn't think that the movie could go as far as it did with that ending route and shit.
That's fair.
Like with it being like a student film or whatever, you know, like
that's fair.
it made the ending shock factor a lot more for me.
I definitely can agree with that.
So
yeah.
I don't know. I might bump mine up to like an 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the formula being executed perfectly with everything else around it helps it, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's honestly, yeah, I mean, this is like one of those things where it's like this idea, it's obvious why this film got made. Like that's such an easy pitch to be like documentary style about like Alzheimer's turns into like demon thing. Like it's just such a perfect setup. It's such an intriguing, like you read that on fucking Netflix or whatever and you're like, okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'll do 8.2.
8.2.
How many more do we have?
That's it. Question though, do you think the Hell House formula is better than this one?
I don't know if
maybe in the second one, just because how cool they go with the different interviews and shit. The Hell House one is so much more documentary.
It's so much more documentary, and it's more. I think the lore is better. Yeah.
No, the lore in Hell House for sure.
Like by the time you get to the that fourth prequel movie, the lore is crazy. I think the formula is very similar. I think it's still in like that 8 territory.
I agree. These are fucking good movies right here. I mean, honestly, we're doing good, bro. Like, we really didn't go above a 9 for a rating, and most of the shit.
But this movie fucking deserves that shit. Like, we're not just like
no. Like, we wouldn't rate like stop motion or like what's another like mid horror movie like Sleepaway Camp's kind of good.
What's a mid one that came out like recently or something? Or like maybe Grave Encounters. Like, I think Grave Encounters is pretty mid. Didn't we give it like a 6 something?
Yeah. Yeah, if you've seen Grave Encounters, yeah.
But like the only reason that movie, like we gave the formula a high rating because the formula was good. It just fell flat and like
formula boosted it too. If the formula would have
been there,
bad, it probably would have been like a 5.5.
Yeah.
All right, let's calculate this up real quick.
Alrighty, Jake on the calculator.
I'm on the calculator.
Calc. It's calc for short.
Calc.
8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 8.5 out of 10 is our Lore and Gore score.
Pretty damn good score, man. Pretty damn good score.
Yeah.
Especially for a horror movie too. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be perfect, and like, I would say this movie's a solid. I would say this movie's a solid 8.5 for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think like personally, like without doing all that rating shit, would you give it higher? You think?
It's kind of hard because, like, a borderline perfect movie for me is I can't even do it as a 10. Like, it's like...
Exactly.
It's like a 9.
Yeah, like, if nothing's a 10 and this is 0.5 away from a 9, I mean, that's a great score.
And it's also so hard for a horror movie to get into the 9 range.
Oh, yeah.
Like
the reason it is a 9 is probably going to be a 9 for me.
Yeah.
Is, like... That's just like a once in a like generation kind of like story.
Every aspect of that movie is just great.
Yeah.
Like, like nothing falls short.
Pretty much.
Like, I mean, this movie's borderline like a perfect horror movie, but you do have things that fall short.
Yeah.
The relationship with the cop, the
camera guy maybe not being perfect.
Sure. Maybe a little of the stuff that's kind of like left up to interpretation that you can't really figure out.
The TV scene, a little bit of that Nectar and CGI not being great, like
CGI not being insane, which it's executed very well.
It's executed well, and it's low budget. Like they made it the best looking way they could make it.
For real, especially that ending CGI. The ending CGI is fire.
That's because they definitely poured all of the budget into that.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And I respect them for it.
I
think they should have.
I mean, they made a classic. That's like an instant classic. Like that's on Instagram Reels forever. Like,
I mean, that's probably like, I'm sure people watching this came here from seeing that picture.
That's gonna be on the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's literally the thumbnail. Like,
or should we even spoil it for people that haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the title of the video could even be Lore and Gore Podcast Episode 1. This is where you've seen this picture. Like, yeah. I guarantee you people, like Tommy, my buddy or whatever, like he was literally like, oh, that's where I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. All right, well, I think it's time to wrap this up.
I agree. That was a good first episode.
Oh, yeah, great. 8.5 out of 10, The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yep.
hopefully you've seen it and we didn't just completely tear it open for you. But even if you haven't seen it yet and you watch this, go fucking watch it, man. I hope we put you onto it.
Honestly, one of the best horror movies I've seen, and I've seen a good bit of them, and I can confidently say this is easily top 3 I've seen, for sure.
I would probably say same.
Yeah.
Get a group of friends together.
Yeah.
Get some drinks, maybe some green
If you watch
stuff.
this movie on some gummies, take them right at the beginning and let them kick in while you're freaking watching this shit.
Fucking hold on to your Gengar plushie because it's going to get fucking wild. But yeah, my name's Cameron.
I'm Jake.
And this has been the Lore and Gore podcast, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.